Hi, and welcome back to Codeweaver Plays Games. So, I was playing Kerbal Space Program a little bit earlier today, actually, for quite a few hours. And I ran up against a wall where I was trying to rescue Kerbonauts from space, and I could not do so. Because I did not bring along a jetpack to go and help do some of the maneuvering around of the spacecraft or the Kerbonauts or our primary pilots, our equestrianauts. So let's just get right back into the game. And I think everything's currently still set up properly to do this. So I'm going to switch over to my other headphones here, and there we go. Let's just leap right back into this. So where we left off, we had a couple of problems. I didn't understand the fact that the Kerbals and other pilots now require bringing certain things along as cargo, which is interesting. And one of those pieces of cargo is, in fact, an EVA suit to be able to jetpack around. I'm in a situation where I'm going to launch this craft. It's 82 parts, 7 stages. This should work. I'm going to launch this slightly ridiculous-looking craft, and try to rescue the Kerbonauts. But when I get up there, it turned out that neither myself nor the other pilot had a jetpack. Go figure. So here we go. Crew. My primary pilot, Rainbow Dash, now has equipment. Now I'm going to have to rescue a bunch of these guys, and it turns out that I can't pull this equipment out of here. Let me see, how does this work here? I can't pull this equipment out of here if I already have one on, because effectively this amounts to basically the carrying capacity of the pilot in question, which is interesting to me. So I can't bring a jetpack over to them. Now, and I can't clamp onto the craft itself because I don't really have a way to do that unless I could fuse them together by bringing along like welding equipment. I haven't figured out that part yet. So my attempt to rescue those pilots is going to be this. I'm going to fly up to them. I'm going to get really close to them. I'm going to have to add some actually RCS thrusters to this, so that's a modification I had to make. I'm going to get super, super close to them, and then I'm going to go out to them and I guess nudge them back to my craft, because they don't appear to be able to push off their own craft. I'm not sure it'd be safe if they did only that as a way to get over to mine. I don't have a tethered way to go over and get to them. I'm just going to have to push them around. So that's going to be my... It's not going to be fast, but I mean, with RCS thrusters, I should be able to get like super arbitrarily close to them. Doing it with the main engine alone is just not happening. So let's actually go and grab. That would be under control, I think. Did I already purchase it? Let's go find out. Yes, I did. So I got advanced stabilizers. I got some RCS thrusters. Not entirely sure what the difference here is. Oh, difference in the thruster power. Okay, so these are like slightly more oomph to them. Do I have fuel? Probably under the fuel tanks. On a propellant tank. Okay, so we're gonna need I'm gonna burn a lot of money upgrading this craft, but anyway, let's add. Actually, I don't know how much I'm gonna need, so let's just add 4. And I took out one of the pods because it'll save me a little bit of mass. I'm gonna try to tuck these. It's gonna be tricky, but I'm gonna try to tuck these. Not there. Come on. Alright, let's see if I can do this. Maybe like that. So that's going to block one of the entrances to one of the pods. Oh, I don't like that at all. I suppose worst case scenario, if they burn off during re-entry because they don't have enough of them, it doesn't matter. I really only need them for... Yeah. I don't want to block any of the entrances. Okay, so what I can do, I can actually go down to 2. And I gotta make sure that I don't block the door. So if I come in on the side and do this, except, nope, there we go. 1 there. 1 there. Okay, so now I got 4. So I got that symmetry. Did I get the symmetry thing? Yes, the symmetry thing is working. That's great. All right. Let's find the center of mass. Isn't going to matter when I have all these pieces attached, but all right. First things first. We're going to save this. Then we're going to peel these off just to be able to find the center, and we're going to peel this off just to find the center of mass, and this, because this won't be here. I'm going to find the center of mass of this. It's the center of thrust, center of mass. So it's there. So if I go down 1 and up 1... Alright, so I'm gonna actually temporarily build this and test this out. I wish there was a way to say, give me the center of mass, but exclude these chunks of ship. If anybody actually knows a way to do that, feel free to let me know. There's a lot of user interfacey stuff that I don't fully, that I haven't fully gotten my brain wrapped around yet, and I've been playing this for forever. It's control, right? Control. I'm gonna go with the large ones. This is a fairly beefy craft. It's not just a little. It's not just a little satellite. So these don't change the center of mass very much. We're gonna get 4 of them though. It's gonna be. I'm gonna put this. I'm gonna put these for turning purposes as far down as I can. That should work. That should generally work, and that with the SAS should give me a fair bit of stability. Okay. The problem is... Yeah, don't save that. Just load up this guy again. I don't want to just reattach it and hope all my staging still works out. So, I am going to attach these. It's a batch of 4 to here, right at the very bottom of this. Also, actually that's not where I want to put it at, is it? I actually want to put it sort of inside this, so that's going to be a problem. Think about this. So what I will do is I will put it halfway up here. Because they're only really going to get used once everything else is. Right. And this is going to go all the way up here. That should work. All right. Now I'm not going to bother bringing up. Let me just double check this. I don't think I actually need to bring these up, because by the time I get the rescues in here, where's the third? Where's the last? Hang on, where's the last pod? I only see 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, I can have her have one. And I can have one per command pod. I'm following. Except the thing is, I can't pull out two. Like, I can't pull out one and just sort of lob it over as far as I'm aware. Alright. I'm going to do something here. I'm actually going to... No, that's not what I'm going to do. I'm going to reverse the direction on these, which may make Ascent a little bit more interesting. But hopefully they'll be overpowered by these guys down here. But I'm hoping it will not cause the thing to spin out when it's re-entering and I'm actually trying to turn in that direction. I don't know if it's going to make any difference. It is weird that a couple of times when I was a little bit off center on the re-entry, I guess a little bit of fluttering of those like spun it out of control because it started to get a little out of control and then it just made it worse rather than better. So let's see if that works as a design. Alright. I'm going to leave RCS off. That's interesting. That's interesting. So if I try to tilt over, these should tilt this way, these should tilt that way, and they don't. They tilt the wrong way. So that answers me, and that gives me an interesting question here. Without resorting to robotics, what that's telling me, or revert to vehicle assembly, what that tells me is on the way up, these were helping, which is fine. But on the way down, their directional operation were kind of broken. So what I kind of need is, I'm going to actually use fixed fins on this, because I don't think I can reverse the nature of the controls on this. I say. If I were to take this and change that to inverted, does that... I'm going to launch that and see what happens. Because if that reverses the direction, that'll solve my problem. Or I just use fixed fins up there because I got the lower ones. But now I'm curious. No, it doesn't change the direction. So that's kind of... So, yeah, that's not what that means. Which is fine. Revert flight. Please go back to the vehicle assembly building. So these ones were normal. These ones had this deploy direction. So we're gonna... so deploy angle, authority limiter, 15 degrees. We can fiddle with that. But the problem is I can't make these... I can't invert the meaning of these winglets because you're not really supposed to fly with them backwards. So I would have to rotate them like on a pivot of some kind, which there may now be in here for all I know. But the thing is on the because I have these down at the bottom, I don't technically need the ones on the top here to actually help me on the way up. I really only need them to help me on the way down. So these are now less useful, and these are cheaper anyway, by a bit. Those are monstrous though. So let's see what happens if I take this and I'm going to invert this. I can find the right. Invert this and duplicate it 4 times, because I no longer need these to do anything on the way up. But I do need them to help me keep the nose down on the way down. Sorry, keep my back end down on the way down. I get the right placement. There we go. because these lower fins won't be there, but I don't need a lot of directional control when I'm plummeting, to be perfectly frank. Let's hope that works, because otherwise it's going to be a very, very exciting descent. Okay. That does explain the spiraling out of control, though. All right. Oh, we don't have the RCS on, so. Bump on the way down, and did it take off one of my fins? It did. It took off one of my fins. You know what? Let's fly this. Let's fly this anyway. Slightly scary, but there you go. All right. So what do we got here? We are not quite at 45 degrees, but we are ascending, so this is still pretty good. 22,000. 23,000 meters on the way up. So my apoapsis is about 30% higher than me. That's actually about good. I'm pretty good about this this arc. Getting very close to the limit, and I actually want more sideways motion than I want up motion. So let's do this. We're still going up, but we're getting a lot more horizontal motion. I'm feeling really good about this burn. We depart that. But actually, we should be able to go prograde and then accelerate a little bit further up here to get us a little bit flatter. Now that we're here, let's watch the time until we get to apoapsis. 43, 42, 41. So it is decreasing. So we do need to slow down our approach to that to buy us some time to lift up. Our periapsis. I'd probably make this a little more efficient by actually boosting up to about 100 or 120k, since that's where I'm going to have to be anyway. But well, here goes. Let's accelerate physics, because it's taking way too damn long. There we go. That's the point at which the because of my orientation of my craft, the apoapsis is starting to pull away from me. And there it is again. Should be able to get pretty close to good. Okay, we're getting pretty close to apoapsis here. Let's just stay on prograde and let's raise right when we get to here, we actually warp here, because now we have that capacity. So we're at 72 and 75, right? Problem is that the one that we want to actually catch is this one here. So this is our target. We are going to have to let it catch up to us. So once again, we're going to want to raise our apoapsis up to about, actually I'm going to go to about 150k. Got a fair bit of extra fuel. A little high there, but they're all right. We're going to time warp up to apoapsis and circularize our orbit. That's nice. Right, so let's now raise our periapsis up to the same level. Very close. Close enough. Yep, totally close enough. Now we have this as our target. So this is basically where we're going to F5 everything. This, add maneuver. We'll just put it some arbitrary distance ahead. And what we're going to do is we're going to shrink this down until this just touches so what is his level at? It's 152832, right? Our periapsis is kind of hard to tell with that much glare, if I'm honest. So it's at 8871. 8871. Yeah? Alright. This is too high. So I want to bring it down a little bit further. That's way too far. That's close enough. 80 and change. So it's the right height. Now we just have to slide this around until the best intercept point gap gets closed. And we're quite a bit better on the plane this time, I think. Okay, so we're going to have to go ahead an orbit. And you can see that hang on, we got to go back a little. Yeah, we got to go back a little. So it's an orbit and a bit. It's actually, the closest point is back here. Huh. All right, our closest point is about here. Nine kilometers apart. Now I actually fiddled with this enough to be able to get some ridiculously closer. Come on, really? What is this? Some ridiculously close pass. So that's 12 kilometers. If I fiddle with the distance, can I get that? The distance to the far side of the orbit, can I close that gap? That's 11 kilometers. 13, no. So that's about as good as I can get. It's about as good as I can get because it isn't quite on a plane. I would have to fiddle with this ever so slightly to get it to be on a plane. Now, one of the things I could do is where will my ship be? My ship will be here. So if I thrust up or down, that's actually going to tilt this in the direction that's either going to improve or make worse the problem here. So I'm actually going to make it better, like that. And that's shrunk. Has that shrunk it to 7 kilometers? 6.4. 6.5. 6.3. 6.1. 6.2. Let's fiddle with this just a little bit, just to tweak it. If I can get it within about 5 kilometers, I'll consider this to be a really good spot. Oh, come on, stop. 6.3. Okay, so why is it out? Because it's still tilted a bit. So this isn't the right place to necessarily do that correction. Because it's not tilting the orbit in quite the right way. So I'm going to do this burn first. Alright. Hitting F5 to lock this in. I'm going to, I think what this will do is it will time warp me to approximately the right spot. We're coming up on it pretty quick. That is a bright planet. Alright, burn time. Our node is in several seconds. Let's do this first burn pretty hard. So we're going to get down to 6 seconds, 7 or 6 seconds. Alright, here we go. Coming up. Here we go. Doing a hard burn. Whoa. Let's do a quick little extra correction here. All right. So that was the full correction, and that's left us in a situation where we're going to be 6.2 kilometers apart. Now, the problem is half the time we're above and half the time we're below the plane in which this is operating. And the problem is that we don't the tilt's bad. Like we want to get these things to be coplanar. That would be better. So at the ascending node, that's the point at which we stop. That's the point at which we stop being too low and start becoming too high in terms of our plane. This is the exact point where we can fix that actually properly. So if I fiddle with this, we're at 0.1 degrees relative to our to the plane of the planet. Fortunately, everything is on the plane, so that's 0.2 degrees, 0.1, 0.1. All right. So if we do a burn of 16 seconds in this direction, we'll get to be on the plane where all of these guys are, because they're all on the same plane. So we might as well fix it for this one. All right, so here we go. All right. We're set. We can then warp to, that is a nice feature. I don't know how long that's been there, but I'm glad you can do that particular, warp to get to. It's too close. It's not going to let me warp any faster. I need to get down to about 8 seconds. So I'll do that manually. Alright, here we go. We are fixing the tilt of our orbit. Okay, so quickly make a tiny little additional correction to bleed off the rest of that. Yeah. And again, only this time with even less thrust. Well, I have to go a little harder than that. Okay. It's gonna be so close it makes no difference, but let's just do the final tweak here. There we go. All right, so our orbit and the plane should be pretty close. Now that is going to have shifted this a little bit. And that's fine. This is going to be the closest. Separation is going to be 9.6 kilometers. So we're going to want to fix that again with a minor course correction. So hang on, we'll kill this. Yeah, so we're going to want to, in about... let's actually do it out here, give myself plenty of time. Add a maneuver. So why are we off? Is this just because it's not clear why we're off, but can we adjust? That forward and backward a little bit, just sort of take the circle from being here to being a little bit more around the planet the other direction. It takes a little bit of practice to understand how this is going to shift the positions around. The separation is now 2.5 kilometers, so that's not bad. Can I make a micro adjustment to this? Just the timing. 1.4 kilometers. I'm going to call that good because I could sit here fiddling with this forever, trying to get an exact intercept. And as it turns out, the lesson that we learned last time is the reason I was having trouble was because I just didn't have to do what I was doing. I'll show you what I mean. I won't be able to see it at 1.4 kilometers away, but I will have it here in the target. So we're going to warp forward to this maneuver node. And actually, I could probably already sort of... I could probably skip this close intercept and actually get to it a little sooner, but I'm not going to. I'm going to try to get there really very close. Oh, our burn time is only 1 second long, and I'm not in position. So how about if I get that in position? That'd be a good idea, don't you think? So here we go. I'm going to do about, I'm going to do only about quarter speed now. Oh, right. So, let's just do a minor tweak as soon as we can here. Always better to do it around the node time you planned for, but a little bit of a correction. How close did we get? Yeah, 1.4 kilometers. I think that's about as good as we're actually realistically going to get. So what we're going to do is we're going to warp to about here. And now that we're here, I'm going to say basically to my target, I want to go retrograde to my target. All right, now I have to bleed off 56 meters per second, so I'm going to start now because that's going to take not as long as I thought it was going to take. Okay, that's okay. So here we go. Only 10.9 meters per second difference. This is how fast we're basically approaching or getting away from it. So if we're anywhere near it and we basically get this down to 0, what will effectively happen is that we'll be stationary relative to it. Now, if we're far enough away, that also means that our different orbits are going to eventually peel us away from one another in exciting and interesting ways. But being even remotely close to it means, with 0 velocity for a short period of time, means that we can just head towards it once we've got this well and truly sorted out. Actually, I'm just going to zero it out. All right. So we should be stationary relative to it, even though we are a little bit distant. So we need to... Okay. Just zeroing out velocity. This is not a position indicator. It is a position indicator, but this is a velocity. So what we really need to do at this point is we need to it's not what we need to do. We need to get these to align so that we are heading towards it, I think. Here's hoping I'm heading towards it. Let's see if we can verify this by zooming in on this and seeing the two crafts. So it's actually we've done this exactly wrong. We're actually heading away from it. It's actually 1.4 kilometers. Because what I really need to do is I need to get my forward velocity reticle to be aimed at this position. So that's fine. Let's do this. So, quick little burst of speed. Let's get that roughly in the right direction. I'm going to pull it over here. All right. So, but we're going to want to stop when we get there. We are now approaching it, or we should be approaching it. Yes, we are. Actually, we're not approaching it fast enough. The problem is if we take too long to approach it when we're in orbit like this, our differences in orbit will peel us apart in extraordinarily exotic ways. So let's get up to about, I don't know, 20 meters per second. Is that closing the gap fast enough? No, we're going to go to 30. It's better. Now we're going to retrograde. Now we're going to check to see if we can see it, and we should actually be heading straight towards it, so... Whoa, 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 whoa. We should be right on top of the bloomin' thing. There it is. There it is. All right, so. Yeah, so this is where things are going to get a little more exciting because this is where we failed last time. So we're going to F5 this. Now, what we need to do is we need to find, like, come on. Oh, it's got to be over here. be a marker which... do I not have it selected as my target anymore? That would be a really weird happenstance, wouldn't it? Alright, well, let's, really hard to steer the craft by visual. There, is that the reticle? My eyes are terrible. That is the reticle. That's me. That color distinction is not great for my eyes, but that's fine. It doesn't matter. My eyes are terrible for color. Let's get a little bit of action going on towards it here. Why are we going away from it? Oh, because I've got the wrong end of my craft pointed towards the... I'm a moron. Alright. There's the proper reticle. It's going to take some getting used to, but we are approaching fairly rapidly here. And there we are, relatively speaking. I mean, the bigger problem here is... no, don't whack it too hard, please. Thank you. Can't really steer by the visuals of the craft. So, retrograde, please. It will not do retrograde for me automatically when we are this close. Alright. We are now basically stationary, so totally F5 that, because holy cow. So, let's turn on the RCS thrusters. Alright. I'll see if I can remember... So that's that lateral motion. That's that lateral motion. Where's our third lateral motion? It's... Sorry, just having to futz with the controls here because I don't remember. There it is. So that's those two keys. That's a fascinatingly weird place to put those, but that's okay. So if I do... That is not half bad right there. Now if I can just remember how to... Sorry, hang on. There we go. There's a very slight motion going on here, but I do not have a way to measure its relative velocity against me. And it is approaching. So let's see what we can do here. So what we're going to do is we're going to switch over to the other ship. We are going to... This is slightly scary. I'm going to F5 again. We are going to do an EVA. You are going to let go I'm going to switch over to my other character, to my primary ship. No, not that ship. This ship. We're going to go EVA on you. Uh-oh. I've got some rotational motion going on here, which is not fantastic. Okay, we're going to let go. Oh, except I don't remember how to. There we go. Whoa, 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 whoa. All right. This got really, really sideways. You know what? I'm going to reload and think about how I'm going to do this. Okay. What we're going to do is we're going to turn off the RCS and we're going to turn off the SAS so they're not screwing with us. Raybury Kerman. Jeez. We're gonna go EVA. Gonna let go. Golly, this is terrifying. This is a terrible way to do this. I gotta find a better way to do this. If I do an EVA, then suddenly I get spinning. Because my shifting of mass somehow... View board. That's interesting. Me popping out of this thing is giving my ship some impulse, and not a small amount of it either, like 2.3 meters per second delta V for nothing. Maybe, I don't know exactly why that is. But this is a problem because I don't know how to... Okay, let's try. Let's try to do something clever here. Let's, So, Raybury Kerman. Actually, what I want is you. Raybury Kerman, if you pop out, are you going to be able to like reach over and grab? Let's find out. Okay, so I'm technically on the wrong side of the craft to be able to grab. So what I'm gonna do... This is terrifying in every possible way. I need to bump his ship out of orbit, or out of my way. So, that's not what I wanted to do. Thank you. Raybury Kerman. No, we're going for you. I can't transfer equipment over to him. I gotta learn for a better way to connect two ships. Alright, well, I don't know. However, what I can do is... effectively... this. Why, in the name of all that is holy, you should just be letting go? Alright. That's fine. Bizarre, but fine. Okay. Now you... Can I... This is the worst thing ever. This is the worst idea ever. I'm using the entire ship essentially as a giant jetpack. Do. That's what I want to do. Are you anywhere near? Maybe. Changing the cameras is not helping me. Okay, let's see if we can do this. You're at chamber number 2. Are you even remotely close enough? Yes, grab. Oh! Oh, jeez. Okay. So that's fine. So essentially what this means is I just have to let the Kerbal just let go of the ship. Bump it out of the way, whatever. Get the two separated. Approach the Kerbal and align the door with them, which is... Basically, ordinarily I'd have them fly a jetpack over, but this guy didn't have one, so... Oh my stars, like, save now, save everything for flipping ever. Let's see how much RCS do we have? Oh, we're okay, so... Oh my stars. Okay, so now we have to deal with this guy. I think for him, I'm gonna have to once again... go prograde. It's not target I'm after, it's orbit. Prograde. And I'm going to turn off the RCS because I don't need the RCS for rotation. I have the flywheels. That's got flywheels, little tiny flywheels inside each of those command modules, and the sheer number of them I have makes it fine. Again, we need to get this up a ways. And circularize it. So we're going to have to get up to the AP. Just to be able to let the other craft catch up to us. Right, so because I don't think there's a way. So if we, so this is our new target. So set as target. It's actually not far, is it? Oh, add maneuver. I don't want to do this without circularizing. It strikes me as painful. But yeah, you know what? It's not worth my sanity trying to figure that out. It's almost always going to be easier for me to do this from a circular orbit or near circular. However, my AP is shifting away from me here, so prograde just to nudge this up to, where are we? We're at 151, right? So let's start from a position of relative sanity. We're gonna got 150. So there's a nearly perfectly circular orbit. All right, so now I can reason about this a little bit more sensibly. Let's do this again. We're going to slow this down till this almost touches. Yep, there it is. And in fact, you notice that it bifurcated into two pairs, and that means that there's a before and after approach. So there's our best guess as to where it's going to happen, is right there. But we can slide this, the before and after thing. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do at all. Oh no, I totally mangled this. All right, that's fine. Let's kill that. Add maneuver. Before and after means that you're basically approach it, cross over to the other side of its orbit, like into out. And then cross back again, so you encounter it twice. We just don't want to fiddle with that at all. What we want to do is drag this around until that's roughly where they're going to have the closest is there. We're going to adjust this just a little. That is totally the wrong way to go with that. Boy, this is fiddly. Really wish they'd made this adjust slower. So 5.4 kilometers, that's actually not terrible. 3.7 is better. The reason for the gap is not clear because we're all on an almost perfect, we're almost on a perfect plane still. Nope. Come on, nudge it over. 3.2. Might not get any closer than that. 2.7. You know what? I'm going to take that and run with it. So we're going to warp to that node. It's going to be near retrograde. Yep, there it is. It's apoapsis. Where's the ascending node? It's 0 degrees, yeah. So we're as close as we're likely to get. So I'm gonna do it's a very short burn, so I'm actually going to do a quarter speed burn, which means I'm gonna do a half speed burn, which means 12 seconds, but that means 6. Here we go. We got pretty close. Where did that leave us in terms of approach? 2.7 kilometers. I'm going to call that good. So we're going to add a maneuver node to about here. Switch over to target. And actually, that tried to set a maneuver node, and that's not what I wanted to do. What I want to do is just warp to here. I'm gonna want to run retrograde when we get there. So I'm gonna want to bleed off all that speed. Here we go. .3 seconds. So we should be more or less right on top of it. Enough so that I can't actually fire retrograde to it. So that would slow me down towards it. And actually, I'm heading slightly away from it because that is the direction to it. So that means it's over here somewhere. I would have thought. It is decreasing, but not fast enough. Like, it is literally that direction, but... Alright, retrograde, please. Wish I knew where it was. Still 2 kilometers away, but it is dropping. Kinda don't want to go any faster than this. Boy, when it's only 2 kilometers away, but you're on this kind of scale, right? Can I scooch in on you? Okay, it's coming up pretty quick now. Oh, look at that. There it is. So that's the back end of the ship. I gotta punt it over to here. I want to get my forward vector to line up with my forward motion vector to line up with its velocity vector. And that implies that I'm more or less headed dead for it. And then I'm going to go retrograde so that I can slow down when I get there. Now, actually, I want to shoot just a little bit past it because I have to get him closer to the command console into my ship. Good enough. F5. We might just be able to pull this off, people. It's been an hour, but I've come up with a plan that kind of works. All right, you are... Hey, how you doing? We're going to rescue you. So, we're going to go EVA. You're totally on the wrong side of the ship, but that's okay. We're going to have you let go. And then not be able to do anything. Okay, that's fine. I'm going to try to steer the ship from this end, which means at least one of my controls is going to be backwards, but that's alright, I'll just have to cope. Not from that angle, though, from that one. Try to do it from that direction. And let's turn the RCS on. Now let's try to... Okay, so... Alright, so we're going to... How do you like them apples? Okay, so, except now I need to know where along the length you are. Okay, that's fine. We are actually on the right side by complete happenstance, so... Right, so, geez, okay. Key I wanted, thank you. Okay, we're at the right sort of height, as it were. We just need to... quite reach, can you? Dang. Okay. It's fine. What did I do? Got a handle on how my controls are working here. Okay, we got a bump. Can you grab? You can grab. Okay, but you can't get into that capsule, can you? Dang. Okay, B should not be camera. B should absolutely 100% not switch between camera when it's also used for boarding. That is absolutely asinine. Whoever thought up that default control scheme needs to be shot immediately. All right. No, fuck off. Okay, and whoever decided to put the one of the thruster direction controls right next to the map needs to be shot also. Like, seriously, guys? Okay. No, exactly. God. You know what? Screw this. I'm remapping this immediately. That is a terrible design. So, can I even do that? No, I can't while I'm in here. I'm going to have to actually go and fiddle with it from the front end screen. That is absolutely terrible. All right. I don't know if that's changed recently, but it is in fact absolutely the worst decision ever. So. So then, God. Did I get just incredibly lucky the first time I did this? I suppose it's possible. Okay, so longitude-wise thrusters. Alright, then What the? Are you completely kidding me? All right. Totally F9ing that. Yeah, this guy's got, yeah, so we haven't even pulled him out of there yet. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go and fix that key configuration because that's just absolutely terrible. Absolutely terrible decision. So we're going to go to, oh, maybe settings, video and graphics, gameplay. No, okay. We got a quick save holding on to this. So we are going to quit to the main menu. That's fine. Training, start new, resume save. Really? Is there no... Alright. Find that suspicious. Is there one from the standard being on Kerbal thing where I can change the key configurations? No. I might actually have to go into this. Doesn't actually have a key remapping thing in-game, does it? Ah, memories. Memories. All right. Tracking station. Let me punt back up to you. Fly, please. All right. Oriented so my thrusters make sense visually here. Okay, hang on. Unfortunately, I think you can grab, but you can't actually get in right there. And I have no ladder scheme to sort of solve this, so that's something I'm going to have to consider. Ooh, hang on. There we go. I can board. I was able to board the one above me because I was on the ladder and the one below me. All right, so rescue craft note. It's not hard to get the craft maneuvered near them. It's not even necessarily that hard to get them to grab something ladder-like. But getting them to grab the right one at exactly the right position, you might as well have a couple extra ladders on you. It wouldn't have hurt. So we're going to F5 that right away, because we don't want to do that again. Hoi. Alright. Now I'm going to be able to bring them back, but until I have the grabber unit, I'm really not likely to be able to bring back their ships. I could probably build something, but it would be frightening. So we need... Who do we have on board us right this minute? We have Dandard and Raybury, but we don't have Papond, so that is our next target. So, let's save our RCS propellant because we don't actually need it for rotations because of the flywheels. God, it's 11 o'clock already. All right. Well, hang on. See, RCS I wanted to turn off, not the SAS. Thank you. All right. That is... We don't want to go towards target. We want to go towards orbit. Because what we're going to have to do, once again, is to raise our periapsis, sorry, our apoapsis, up enough. And then get there... A little bit more leeway, maybe. Let's warp here. That's me. Let's actually get quite a bit closer, please. Warp here. And then we want to go prograde, so that's cool. A little bit closer. Thank you. Pretty much be right on top of the thing. The final burn. So 151, 152, that's close enough for all of our purposes. The ascending and descending nodes, they read 0 degrees, so we're as close to the plane as we're likely to get. That ship is quite a ways behind us, though, so it may be several... Well, actually, it's not that far away, I guess. Alright, add maneuver. Alright. So, the only thing that's stopping us from being able to intercept is time. And it appears that it's just a hair more than a loop away, so... Actually, no, it's a little less than a loop away. If we get to right there, how close are we? Like 0 kilometers. Now, we're not going to actually hit 0 kilometers, but hey, all right. Yeah. So we're gonna want to go. We're gonna want to go retro burn when we get there. So we're just gonna hit that ahead of time. Actually, I'm not sure it's gonna matter because when it gets over there, it's gonna be flipped around anyway. Love those Aurora. All right. So we got a 7-second burn. I'm going to burn at 1/2 power because it's not a long burn, which means 14 seconds of burn, which means I actually want to start at 7 seconds. So let's accelerate up to about there. Yep. Right, 0.3 meters per second. Stop just in time here. Let's correct that last little bit. That's pretty close. So where did we actually end up in terms of intercept range? 0.3 kilometers. That's crazy. All right, so that's going to happen here. So I'm going to warp to about here. And be prepared to do a retrograde burn. Oh, I've got 2 of them. Oh, it doesn't matter though. Separation 4.2 kilometers. I'm not sure how we ended up in that situation. I thought we actually had it nicely lined up, but apparently we don't. So that's 4.2. Oh, that's where it's 0.3. So I actually am coming past it here, but then passing it again here, and it's this one that we managed to make. All right, I didn't realize it. I'd accidentally left it split. That is totally fine. Let us. Oh, let's continue on to here. Warp to here, please. Oh, I guess we want to switch to target. All right, 2.6 difference. At one point it was, so how close are we at this point? It's got to be pretty close. $310, but we're getting further away. All right, so. All right, get on this side of the lineup point. There we go, we're roughly lined up. Which way are we going? Can we see it yet? There it is. There it is. Let's go retrograde quickly, please. Yep. All right, let's F5 that. We're coming at it from the right angle, roughly speaking. Let's look at it from this angle, except we got to go ahead a little bit. But we are drifting past it, so that's fine. Turn on RCS, get ourselves oriented, try to So that's got me oriented in a way that my directional thrusters aren't terrible. So we're going to go... start to nudge over in the direction of the craft. All right, let's... How are we doing forward and back? A little bit of drift. Right. Let's... get close enough that we can practically ring the doorbell. We've got a very slight drift going on here, but I'm going to call this good. I'm going to switch over to the other craft. And we're going to have you EVA, because that's just scary. And then we're going to have you leave your craft. And then we're going to... Right, here we go. We're going to... Not you. We're going to you. No, we're not even going to you. We're going to you, us. We're going to go just like that. Can you grab? Are you anywhere? Are you close enough to grab? Not quite, and in any case, you're on the wrong side. Okay, that's fine. It's on the underside. I'd rather try to fly this thing sideways because I can't reorient the camera exactly the way I want. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to... That is not the button I wanted, please. What I wanted is this guy. Okay, so I gotta... quickly switch over and grab. Don't think I can board from here, but... Oh, I can. The top one's not occupied. Or it's allowing me to board in any position, but I don't care. I really don't care. You have no idea how much I don't care why I managed to get all three of them in there. We are saving that. Ladies and germs and everything in between, and off-axis and everywhere, we have gotten all of our Kerbals on board without having to use, or well, being able to use a rocket pack. Because I couldn't hand one off to them. And so we're going to have some interesting lessons on how to... move around equipment if we can't carry equipment places. Like, I'd like to be able to give a jetpack to another Kerbal or Equestrianaut. Right, anyway, can I even save it again because I'm paranoid? Alright, so we're going to try to land this thing. Hopefully these tiny fins are going to work and bring us down just as we expect. So we're going to turn off the RCS. Although we do have the RCS to help us out, actually. How much fuel do we have? We've got a fair bit. That should be able to survive the dastardliness of re-entry. So, in orbit, we're going to go and say retrograde, please. Line us up. And we're going to drop our periapsis down into the atmosphere. And here goes everything. Man, those rescue missions, they pay a lot, but boy, howdy are they tricky beasts to do when you don't know how to use the equipment, apparently. Okay, so we're starting to descend. Let's accelerate physics to get into the point where it's starting to become... I may not have, actually, the ability to use the RCS all the way down. Some of my motors may actually get destroyed. Hopefully the one on the tip of my ships won't, even if the others go away. We're doing a very gentle descent. Feeling super excited about this. I guess a rescue is kind of a bit of a no-brainer if everybody has the equipment that you used to have. And it's like every Kerbal automatically came with a jetpack. It was just part of the standard kit. Not having them does save on weight, so that's a thing. And making it a like equipment you have to pack around like cargo is kind of neat. Like I like the fact that that we had to manage cargo, although it was a little unexpected. So this is going to be a neat marriage of knowing to bring at least one unit of the right stuff. Like pack your ship well, basically. All right. We are ripping it across the dark side here. The SAS is able to keep us on in line with just the flywheels on board the primary craft, at least for the moment. I haven't had to turn on RCS. That's less good. Everybody's still on board, but I don't know what blew up. I don't think it matters if I know what blew up. Okay, RCS is doing diddly squat. I did have physics on a little too high. I now can't turn around, so I have to depend on the descent. Alright, that's interesting. I don't know what blew up. Genuinely don't. Good lord, I hope I get down to, slow enough to be able to deploy my chutes. Just need the drogues. Get me the drogues and everything else is gravy. I just can't turn around to use the retros. Here we go. And there we go, and I think that constitutes we are safe. Okay, so that's a little scary. So not having the steerable fins was a problem. I might have been able to do it with SAS if I turned them on earlier. So next time I try that, I'll do it with SAS. We are coming in heavy, though, so I'm glad I have some fuel. And turning on the RCS for the moment, that is going to give me my upward thrust, which won't buy me much speed difference, but it'll buy me some. This is going to be heavy. It's going to be a heavy landing, which I don't like, but there it is. Oh my goodness. Did we do it? Did we get everybody home? Is this acceptable? Is this acceptable? Recovery of a vessel returned from orbit. Mission summary for parts. Everyone got home. And as far as mission control is concerned, we actually completed that last rescue. We didn't have to get the actual ship. Wow. Wow. All right. I'm feeling pretty proud of myself for being able to sort that out. Sorry, I got cranky about the controls. I was starting to get frustrated. The problem is that the so we've got sort of I, J, K, and L as the lateral controls, very much like the WASD keys. But for rotational stuff, for rotational stuff on the WASD keys, you've got the Q and E keys to do the roll, which makes sense to me, right? I would have expected the additional the additional lateral keys, which are technically, I guess, forward and backward along the ship, to be U and O, but they weren't there. Okay, that's fine. So they're forward and backward. Maybe it makes more sense to have them in line, but then instead of being H and Y, it actually ended up being N and H, and N is very close to the map key, M. And so that's why that was frustrating me. So I don't know if I'll do the remapping or if I'll just live with it. It doesn't make a lot of sense for it to be on H and N unless there's something else occupying the keys I want. But I don't care. I'll sort that out for next time. That's why I was frustrated. I just want to lay that out. It was I got quite a few space games under my thumb's the wrong word, under my purview right now, and all of them have slightly different control schemes. I'm playing Pulsar the Lost Colony, which is a great little cooperative, slightly adventurous, like adventure questy kind of stuff in a galaxy. It's a sort of a lovely simplistic art style, but it's cooperative, which is great for me. B, it allows several people on one ship to work cooperatively, which is just great. I love that. A little bit like Starship Bridge Crew. Feels more of a labor of love than Bridge Crew is. And it also works in VR, which admittedly Starship Bridge Crew does as well. Star Trek Bridge Crew does as well, but Pulsar, I just... its VR mode works pretty well, and I've been enjoying doing that, playing with my non-VR peeps, because it's just fun flying through space that way. And also, the other space game I've been playing is Outer Wilds, which I have been streaming, again in VR, but I have keyboard controls for that for when I am playing just on my PC, putzing around, because I love playing around in the world. When I'm playing it on stream, I'm using a completely different control scheme with the controllers, so it's driving me nuts that I have to really quickly adapt to all these different control schemes. Anyway, so that's a long-winded way of saying thank you so much for joining me for this Kerbal Space Program Redux, the second time this evening that I've gone back in here so that Rainbow Dash could go up and rescue some Kerbalnauts from orbit while I was learning how the most recent version of KSP is played with some of its new gimmicks. I'm loving it to death. I'm going to be doing a lot more of this as well, so I guess that's 3 games on my docket that I've got in a cycle. Yeah, this has been great. Thanks so much for joining me. We're gonna do this again real soon. This is Code Weaver Plays Games, and I will see you in the next stream.